And you should also have most of your own relatives. If you don't really have your own relatives, y'all are sharing relatives, that's a problem, okay? Maybe you shouldn't be married. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ronka. So in today's video, I'm doing a part 2 to a video I uploaded recently talking about the benefits of marriage. Now, it should go without saying, but I am gonna say it, these benefits are best enjoyed when you're in a healthy marriage. If you are in a struggle marriage or in a toxic relationship, you may still be able to take advantage of some of these benefits, but you're not going to actually enjoy them to the fullest. So if you are in that sort of a situation, if possible, I would definitely recommend trying to get counseling, therapy, something to help you work through whatever situation you might be in to get your marriage back to a healthy state. So continuing from where I left off in my other video, another benefit of marriage is that you really do have a built-in companion. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I think myself and my husband, we have a sort of relationship where, like, if he's going to get a haircut, I might just tag along with him. Or if I want to go to the mall, we'll both just go together. So, for us, we get to really spend a lot of time together, but it's not just like pointless time together, if that makes sense, but we're actually doing things that are meaningful to each other and doing it in a way where we get to enjoy what the other person does or enjoy what matters to the other person. And the truth is, I am an introvert and very much a homebody. And for me, it helps because I'm at home and I have him with me, right? So I can really embrace my homebody nature at times because I already have this built-in companion with me. Like, I don't necessarily have to leave my house to now go get some level of companionship with anyone else. So it really, for me as an introvert, once again, as an introvert and a homebody, it really helps. One thing that I think is also a benefit to marriage, but I think it depends on how you look at it, is marriage will grow you. Marriage will grow you and it will change you. If you are the same person you were when you got married, even a year later, you might not be doing something right. Like, there's no way that you will be in that sort of a relationship and you're not growing. Either you're going to grow in terms of being a better version of yourself as a spouse, or a better version of yourself as a relative, or a better version of yourself as an employer, employee. There's just something about marriage and consistently being in the same space with someone, having to manage finances, having to manage time, having to manage resources. Like, there's just something about it that forces you to grow. You have to think differently. And, going back to my comment about healthy marriage, if you have a conflict, you need to think through how to work through it in such a way that it's not derailing your marriage. And for me, a lot of the conflict resolution skills that I would say I've picked up in my marriage have helped me outside. A lot of the emotional intelligence skills that I've picked up through my marriage have helped me outside as well. So there's a lot of things that I would say I've learned and have helped me to grow within my marriage that I apply to other areas of my life as well. In line with this is also the realization that your spouse can actually point out things that you need to work on, right? And so I feel like there's a little bit of a difference between, like, attacking you and criticizing you versus maybe calling out, like, hey, on this call, you came off a bit harsh. So you take it as, okay, the next time I get on this call or the next time I have this sort of a feedback that I want to give, I'll be more mindful in how I give it. I'll be a little bit more constructive, right? I think that with marriage, that person sees you. They literally get to see you at your best, your worst. And so they can give you tips and pointers on how you've handled certain situations or how you could better handle things, right? And just to cap off this point, I think the key with being able to grow is understanding that your marriage is a safe space. If your marriage is truly a safe space, you will be able to grow in it. So another benefit when it comes to marriage is that oftentimes it can help you to expand your social circle. And I'm not saying this as like I'm trying to be friends with this person, so I got to marry this person and be friends with them. But when you think about marriage, your spouse has their own friends, typically. And you should also have most of your own relatives. If you don't really have your own relatives, y'all are sharing relatives, that's a problem, okay? Maybe you shouldn't be married. But generally, you probably will have your own friends, your own family members, really your own network. So for me, one of the beautiful things about marriage is that it is literally an amalgamation of those two worlds. And so while the relationship may not necessarily translate to be the exact same for you with your spouse's circle as it is for them, those are still people that you can build a relationship, you can connect with, For me, that's one of the benefits of marriage that I feel sometimes gets overlooked. For me, it's important that my significant other maintains their relationships, but also that I can build my own relationship with the people who are important to them. So for the last point, I looked online and there's actually some literature that indicates that there are health benefits to being married. There are some studies that indicate that like immune health wise, you're likely to have a stronger immune system if you're married. And I assume that's also because, you know, you're living with someone. So whatever they're exposed to, you also get exposed to. You guys can kind of build antibodies together to more things, since the two of you are probably exposed to more than just you by yourself. But that's one aspect. There's some literature that indicates that life expectancy is longer if you're married. And I assume that also has to do with the fact that you actually have a social connection, like a built-in social connection, which, you know, is something that as you get older becomes important, right? For a lot of older adults, they get lonely. And so if you think about having a spouse who, once again, you have a healthy relationship with, you're probably less likely to get lonely and suffer from consequences of loneliness. In addition, there's some research that indicates that married people are less likely to engage in risky behavior. And this makes sense, okay? Because you know there's somebody waiting on you at home, and you also know if you don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff. And then of course, consider the fact that spouses are more likely to encourage and hold each other accountable for pursuing healthier habits. So once again, there are so many benefits to marriage. It's probably even more than what I've covered. Marriage is a beautiful, beautiful thing when done right. And you know, even these benefits that I've listed, of course, yes, they're great, but nothing beats just having a person that you can really partner with and really walk this life journey with. That's all I have in today's video. Please make sure to like this video, share with others, and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.